It's a slap in the face. I'm also a parent. I'm a DPS parent, so it's also a very personal issue for me.
Elsa Banuelos runs Padres y Jóvenes Unidos, an advocacy group fighting for years against what she calls a school-to-prison pipeline for students of color.
When our students get a ticket, it's an actual police ticket, and that's the beginning of going into the prison system.
When the Denver School Board voted to remove school resource police officers from campuses in May, Banuelos thought that was supposed to help the problem.
They are okay with finding other ways to still issue tickets to our kids.
Under an agreement with the city of Denver, Denver Public Schools security patrol officers can now write official citations to students for minor offenses.
And so those are things like marijuana possession, those are things like vandalism, low-level assaults.
Mike Eaton runs the DPS Department of Safety. He says Denver police will still be called for serious offenses, but everything else will be handled internally without calling police.
Our intent is to not write tickets. Our intent is to use our existing resources to support those kids.
But his patrol officers look like police. They carry guns. They can issue citations. They drive cars with lights and sirens.
I don't see a difference.
Banuelos feels like it was a bait and switch.
Anytime you have police in our schools, it will continue to be the same problem. That's not a solution.
We're talking about low-level municipal infractions that most likely end up in court and a monetary ticket is issued, that we can do much better for students by offering our wraparound services with evidence-based approaches.
Eaton believes what the district is doing now can actually be the solution to the so-called school-to-prison pipeline. At tonight's school board meeting, this issue will come up with an update on how many tickets the district has written so far this school year. Tom Jenny will have all that information and more tonight at 9 and 10, including a look at what the disparity actually looks like when it comes to citing minority students being cited proportionally more than white students.
So we talked about the idea of scaling this down a little bit, but what are the types of crimes that might cause them to ask for help from police?
So there are certain types of things that they need to call Denver police, things such as weapons violations or serious assaults or stabbings. Those kinds of cases will always have a police officer come, but anything of those minor offenses, they don't want to have police get involved.
And if it is one of these minor offenses and it becomes a ticket within the DPS system, it does not escalate to a true outside legal issue, like a misdemeanor, like a charge that would be, these kids aren't going to end up in court.
Well, if they issue a ticket, they will end up in court, but the point is, if it's something that's minor, they'll try to handle it internally, like say a suspension, or what they'll prefer is something called restorative justice, where a student will work with an adult to try to make amends for the problem or get to the root of why that student made a bad decision in the first place.
Well, hopefully it's something that can smooth that transition from school to, you know, your life after school, as opposed to, as you said, that pipeline from school to prison for some.
Well, and it is a nationwide issue, and it's something that school districts across the country are trying. DPS is trying this approach. They feel like it's an innovative approach, and if it works to actually reduce the number of tickets that are issued to minority students, they feel this could be a national model.
So that's more tonight at 9 and 10.
Yes.
All right, Nelson, thanks.
You're welcome.